Standard operating procedure for monthly progress report. So why we need a monthly progress report? There are daily progress reports, there are weekly progress reports. Not all projects follow daily project reports or weekly project reports, but monthly progress reports is followed by most of the projects globally. So that is why monthly progress report is always on higher priority when it comes in terms of conduct records. So what is the purpose of the monthly progress report? So whether we are as per the baseline to finish the project on time. So it closely monitors the actual versus baseline. It identifies if any delays or any risks. So it gives a red flag that the project is not as per the plan. There are some hurdles and how we are going to address them. So what will be the forecast completion? See, progress reports have updated schedules, but that doesn't make an eligibility for UOT. It is a monitoring schedule. It gets updated based on the actual baseline, but unless otherwise it is being agreed by both the parties, it never becomes an UOT. So what are the key components of the progress report? So these are the major key components. What is the progress status? Updated program should be there. What is the status of the finance or the cost of the project? Procurements. What is the status of the procurements? Qualities and HSE. So it brings the overall picture of the project. So how we should cross-check the data, like weekly information reports, site diaries, material records, daily progress reports, schedule logic verification. Everything has to be done to check whether the monthly progress report is properly being prepared. So schedule updates and CPM integrity, it is a complete planning job because the critical path keeps on changing once you update the schedule. So you have to check whether the logics are properly linked and the floats are being justified and what is the new completion date. So this has to be directly under the radar of the planning and project control. Project percentage validation. There will be a measurement backup sheet for every progress measurement, like for engineering, procurement, construction. There will be a separate percentage of completion. So these Excel sheets will be maintained separately and the data will be collected from the specific departments. For example, if it is a procurement, if there is a certain percentage of achievement for you to release a purchase order, it will be updated. There is a milestone for your vendor placing order to their sub-vendors, that will be progress measurement. So the project progress measurement will be in such a way. So planned versus actual S-curve. This is the most important graph in any monthly progress report and anybody will be liking to see. So the S-curve gives the entire picture of whether the project is in a positive progress or not. So BOQ or WBS-based weightages. So all the certified quantities has to be verified by each department. Key milestone reviews, very high level milestone reviews like sectional completion of milestones. So what are any approvals or permits which has to be given or anything is pending or the employer has to support on it. Delay events and UOT claims. Monthly progress reports always forms the most important contemporary record for UOT claims. Even when we work on retrospective claims in arbitrations, when the project is being completed, the first question we ask is, we'll be asking the baseline and we'll be asking the updated schedule and then the monthly progress report. So monthly progress report usually has by knowingly or unknowingly, it will capture all the delays. Responsibility should be there, but in most progress reports, it will not be there because monthly progress report has to be submitted to the client and the client will be worried if their name or PMC name is there on the responsibility. So what is the mitigation activity is being taken by the contractor and not just TA, any delay if you are done must be included in that. Procurement and manufacturing status. So the procurement and manufacturing status will have a detailed number of vendor deliverables, whether it has been approved, submitted, what is the status, and what is the status of manufacturing, factory inspection has been done, and whether it has been shipped. Because some items cannot be shipped easily. They might come in break bulks, or it will have special logistic requirements. If it is moving in road with large trailers with uh, which are very long, which requires special permits like police protections to move from one state to other state, one emirates to other emirates. So what are the long lead items and how what is the tracking on them? Site logistics and resources, what is the manpower histogram, whether it is as per the agreed contract, what is the productivity of the site, whether there is any decrease in productivity or increase in productivity. So all these things the site resources will cover. Progress photos and videos, now we have even drone footages, so we can understand what is the development at the site, because most of the PMC teams do not go to site because they'll be handling multiple projects. And at junior level, yes, we go to site, we see what is happening at site to collect data on the first hand. But when you go to the higher hierarchy in higher management position, you will not be in a position to visit all the sites. So these photographs and video helps a lot to understand what is the site progress, because if a vice president or a commercial director comes to a meeting, they come only to the monthly meetings. They don't be part of weekly meetings or um, daily meetings. They can see that for a past 3-4 months, if there is no improvement in the progress, they can easily identify. So next is HSE performance. So any incidents were there or NCRs being reported. NCRs are usually connected with the quality, and what are the PPE compliances, whether any safety observations or safety violations, that and their audits, internal audits, all will be perfect. And what is the vehicle speed, any overspeed being recorded, everything will be there in the HSE performance. Quality control, yes, here there will be NCR status, non-conformity report status. What is the testing status of the materials which are at the factories, punch lists, QA/QC compliances in general, any reworks being performed due to the defective works, that has to be very clear. Cost and billing versus end value. So this is the area where we used to say that the employer should be very keen whether the contractor is making profit. If the contractor is not making profit, it not just affects the contractor. The most person going to get affected because of this, the employer. So please make sure that the cost of the project is being properly spent, and the earned value is always higher. So if any variation status, it has to be part of it. And cash flow forecast should be also that. Cash flow forecast means most people very easily think that they just give the projection of the invoice. No, projection of the invoice is not the cash flow forecast. Cash flow forecast should be actual, and it has to include the impact of the variations in the cash flow. Risk register and mitigation. This risk register, now it has become a very important document in progress reporting. This risk register should not be a standalone document. It has to be integrated with the monthly progress report. It has to be integrated with the schedule, and it has to reflect in the other departmental deliverables. So what is the major mitigation efforts we are taking to avoid the risk or the risk that has already occurred? That has to be also recorded. Who are the parties accountable has also been recorded. So engineering and drawing approvals. So this is a very huge document because deliverables will be very huge. One thing what I see that people have to adopt is they have to write the priority of the documents. Just because we have 1,000+ documents, it's not necessary to write all the 1,000 documents. Because a general arrangement drawing is always has a higher priority than a painting procedure. So you can't level up both. And a building procedure is the most important document, because without that, your walls or the major materials can't start welding. So the engineering has to sit with the procurement, the engineering has to sit with construction, and the project control has to mediate between them and to make a priority set of documents in engineering and drawings. so that you can monitor the priority documents very easily instead of getting lost in the huge number of documents. There should be always a look ahead plan 4 to 8 weeks, which is a very minor plan, so that you can very closely monitor them and execute them. So whether we have the workfront readiness, necessary permits, necessary resource allocations, has the subcontractor mobilized, all the documents has to be in the look ahead schedule. The look ahead schedule will have more information for the 4 to 8 weeks than the general schedule, which has more of a very generic information about the entire project. So key red flags. So is there any slippages, any delays, and what are the missing evidences? Whether the risks we have mitigated or the risk is getting increased day by day, that has to be monitored. So this is a small final review checklist, like whether the data is being validated, who are clearly accountable, what are the corrective actions, what are the claims we have been listed, and are we going to have a separate meeting to solve these claims? So these things has to be very clearly written. So we come to the end of this video, and if you want your project control department to develop an SOP for the entire department and how should be a monthly progress report, and if you need any auditing, whether the planning and project control has the proper evidence records, if tomorrow something goes wrong, are they ready for the claim negotiations, are they ready for the arbitrations? So we do help in such arbitrations, and we support in EOD claims those who are not able to have a limited resources or a limited knowledge in delay analysis, and we support them. Please contact the below number. Or if you want to empower your team and your team has to do their own analysis on their exposure towards claims, we are open for corporate trainings. Please reach out if any requirements. Thank you.